on the.
On the what?
Are you gonna? I was waiting for you to pop the top.
Yeah, I was trying to wait for a little break in the action there. Sorry, man.
We're on the show eve of week 1. Marky Mark, did you know that next week is week 1?
I did.
What are you drinking? Let's hold the phone right here. Let's look at this can first of all.
It's
look at that thing. It looks like you're drinking the freaking Nickelodeon goo. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's called Slurp.
That's what she said.
I'm having a little slurp. Yeah, right.
Well, this is going to be a fun show, I think. That's Marky Mark. I am the Prince. We are the 2-headed monster to a 3-headed beast that is the hosts of the NAO show. We are going to be talking about a bunch of stuff leading into week 1. We're going to talk about that thing that we never are allowed to speak of, like Voldemort in the NAO league chat. We're going to talk about some trades that happened a little while ago that we haven't gone over yet. And we're going to talk about this Jonathan Taylor thing that everyone is just, we are not going to talk about that.
No.
We got big feelings about that? Okay, all right. Yeah, we're going to move it on. All right.
We will not be talking about that.
I knew we weren't going to talk about it, but I wanted to see your reaction if I brought it up.
Yeah, you caught me off guard with that one. I was just like, no.
You did it well. You did it fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, Mark, what's the first thing we're going to talk about?
Well, let's talk about a couple of guys in the NFL that moved teams first before we talk about our trades.
All right.
Shut off my phone. So, yeah, let's talk about these running backs that changed teams. We'll start with Dalvin Cook going to the Jets. Okay. What do you think about that one? Fantasy implications, league implications?
I think for Dalvin Cook owners, they're happy that he's on a team, and he's not happy on a team that he wants to play on. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that Dalvin Cook wanted to go to New York and play with Aaron Rodgers. The offense is going to be really good, I think, with Rodgers under center. Garrett Wilson starting to look like the real deal over there. So Dalvin Cook isn't going to be looking at freaking 7-man boxes, which isn't to say that in Minnesota he didn't have Justin Jefferson doing the same thing. But I think it does. I don't think it hurts Breece Hall showings, because Breece Hall was the man when he was playing. You know what I mean? Yeah. He has definite skill, and when he was the man, he was putting up numbers like the man. So
yeah,
it'll be interesting. I got a question for you, and this is a perfect situation. Why all right, the NFL is a league of copycats. We get that, right? What's the new greatest offensive scheme that is going to get us the points we want, aka the Wildcat? I mean, that was just a flash in the pan, and now everyone did it after it turned into something, right? Why won't the New York Jets play split back on their offense? Dalvin Cook on one side, Hall on the other. Pick your freaking poison. Oh, wait, it's not going to be either one of them. It's going to be freaking Garrett Wilson down the side. Like, why didn't you do that? Like, I think Green Bay does it a little bit with their running back scheme, a little bit, but not as much as I would think that 2 really good running backs would be. Like, a lot of these backfields are going to committees, and why not have both of them on the field? I understand, like, with having 2 running backs on the field, you're probably taking up probably a slot receiver and or tight end off the field to make up the difference. But I feel like if you have 2 solid running backs like Cook and Hall, like, they both can be on the field.
Well, I think you answered your own question. It's who comes off the field then. And it's just not the kind of offenses people are running anymore.
Well, why not? That's not an answer. Like, oh,
Yeah.
we're not going to do that because that's just not what we do. Well,
Yeah.
that's not an answer. Like,
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I feel like by taking off a receiver, well, what do you, two guys in the backfield, it doesn't really gain you an advantage like if you're trying to put the defense off balance because if you hand the ball off to one of them, it's not like you're going to fake them out much with that. Are we going to give it to Brees or are we going to give it to Cook? Oh man, and I don't know what I'm going to do. No, these guys are coming into the gaps, and whoever gets the ball, they're rushing into the gaps, and I don't know. I just don't think it gives them that much of an advantage, even on a pass play. I guess on a pass play, so you're probably going to have one block if it's an obvious pass play. You may have somebody blitzing or some kind of stunt going on. So you have one
the other
block.
guy goes into the
The
flat.
other guy's got to go out into the route, but still you're covering one less receiver out there too. So I just feel like it just doesn't it's more of a college thing where the college running backs can be a lot better than their competition and you don't really need to have the three wide receivers to beat them sometimes. But those days are kind of gone.
I just hate the fact that just because Cook went to the Jets, it automatically makes Hill or Hall
Yeah.
uh, a bad running back. And that's not it at all. He was the freaking
Nah.
man when he was playing. And
I
now,
think it
oh,
was
Cook is going to take all this away from him. You
I
don't know
think
that. That's just projection.
I think he's there because Rodgers wanted him there. I think that's the only thing that makes much sense for Cook, who he just did start practicing. His shoulder, he was coming off the shoulder injury. So he
Mm-hmm.
pretty much missed all the training camp. He just did come in. But the idea is that you think, oh, they brought in somebody else so that Brees can ease back in. But if they were going to do that, why didn't they bring in somebody healthy? You bring in a guy who can't practice. So now you got two guys that may need to be eased back in there. So I really think it was 100% Rogers said, "Hey man, I know this guy. I played against him twice a year. He's the kind of guy I want in the backfield on passing downs. I want him, in there for pass blocking if he's, he or as a weapon. Either way, he trusts him. And quarterbacks like that are older want somebody they can trust.
Ooh,
So
follow-up question.
yes, sir.
We all know the petty level of Aaron Rodgers is well documented. He is extremely petty. What do you think about this being compared to Tom Brady going to Tampa? Tom Brady goes to Tampa, brings Gronk, Alan Lazard. We go out and get Leonard Fournette, Dalvin Cook. And then we go win the Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Mind you, that was during like a COVID XYZ everything. But what do you think Aaron Rodgers has that in the back of his head? Like, oh, Tom Brady, supposedly the best player, what blah blah blah, went and did this in Tampa, and I can go to the New York Jets and do the same thing. Like, do you think he has that in his head?
Yeah, it kind of seems like, talking about the copycat league, he's kind of doing the same thing. I think the big difference there is the offensive line. Brady had a decent line the years he was there. The years they were playing well and winning anyway.
Yeah.
It fell off quick, and I think that's got him out of the league maybe a little quicker than I don't know how long he might want to stay around. But Rodgers, he's kind of he's doing the same thing, but he doesn't have the line. And last year a big thing he was doing, it was either a 9 route or a check down. If you looked at his the number where he was going with the ball, he wasn't hitting intermediate routes, which take a little bit longer to develop. He was either like uh, three-step drop and just like air it out to the guy running down the sideline, or he was if that didn't look good to him, he was checking that shit down quick, man. So if he thinks it's gonna get much better in New York, I don't think he's got much better line in New York this year. So yeah,
What
and
about that circus catch by Garrett Wilson? Who did you
yeah,
automatically think about? Who did he remind you of as soon as you saw it?
Didn't remind me of anybody, but I'm trying. I think I saw the replay, but I didn't think much about it beyond that. What did you think?
I feel like I saw number 17 Adams in Green
Uh,
Bay just doing this little corner route where we're
yeah,
all just like, oh, it's going to Adams. It's going to be a corner route to the post. You might want to put somebody over there.
yeah,
And it was just boop, bink, and
yeah. Garrett can have a monster year with him, so it seems like that connection's going well. So I think that's Rogers' best chance, but it won't all be 9 routes and dump offs. He'll just need a little bit of time there to get some things to Garrett, but he's going to be the focus of the defense. I think I don't know. They don't have a lot after Garrett. Kind of falls off. So I feel
yeah.
like that hey they wanted to get rid of Elijah Moore. So I feel like if they had Elijah Moore there, they might have had a good 1-2 punch. But you could laugh. You could
Marky
laugh.
Mark with his Elijah
Yeah,
Moore flag. Please come this
yeah,
way, y'all.
yeah. That's
Elijah Moore this way.
we'll see soon. I'm looking forward to it, man. So hopefully,
Who's the tight end for the New York Jets?
Conklin and the guy from Cincinnati that went there. I can't think of
Oh,
his name right
Garrison
now.
Hurst.
No, 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 no. Hurst. No, Hurst went to. He's with Carolina now.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
I can't believe I can't think of his name. I'm on the spot here and can't think of it. But yeah, the big guy. There's a big guy from Cincinnati. I know people are yelling at their phones or whatever they're listening on right now.
We can move
Dumbass.
on. We can
Yeah,
move
it'll come
on.
to me. It'll come to me later, and I'll say this name out, and you'll understand. So, but just to finish up on Cook, I, yeah, it looks like let's get the band together for one last run at it, and but yeah, Cook, that shoulder, man, it scares me. It scares me. So we'll have to see if he's ready to go week one, which I don't know. Yeah, I hope he's been running, man, because he hasn't been getting contact.
As a Hall owner, I'm not one, but if you were a Hall owner, would you be worried about Cook coming in?
No, not really. I don't think Cook will last the whole season. So I think Hall is gonna it gives Hall a chance to ease back in if there's any concerns about the knee. And
Mm-hmm.
I think there'll come a point where Cook's gonna miss some games and Hall's gonna be the top dog again. So I don't think he's any threat to him. I think it's maybe a one and done. I think they got him for they signed him for more than that, but I don't know. I'd have to look at the contract to see how serious it is. But yeah, he's that shoulder's bad for him, man. So I'm not counting on that shoulder getting them very very much further in the league. So all right, let's move on to one that's a little more close to home for you. Let's talk about Zeke going to the Patriots. What do you think about that one?
I think
When
Zeke is
you
going to
let me
be.
let me
Go ahead.
preface it though. When you traded for him, you and I both thought he was going back to the Cowboys, I think, right?
Yeah, I thought that
S-
was the writing on the wall.
So from that point to now him being in the Patriots, tell us what your thoughts are there.
So when I acquired him, I thought it was just a matter of money, and he was going to go back to Dallas and be the Tony Pollard to Tony Pollard. You know what I mean? There was going
Yeah.
to be a passing of the torch, and he was going to be a fine like flex play in, right? And
Yeah.
then that didn't pan out, and then I was kind of butt puckering. Like I traded. Obviously, the trade was for both Zeke and Sutton to gain depth at both
Yeah.
positions. And I rolled the dice on Zeke, knowing that he wasn't going to be on a team when I acquired him. But I am I think I'm higher on Sutton than most people are now. So I went and got him. But him being on the New England Patriots definitely gives me pause because Stevenson's there and he has been in the system and has Bill Belichick's ear and can be trusted, and it definitely just sounds like if we get in 3 yards, maybe Zeke will go in. Maybe he's the Jamal Williams, 17 touchdowns this year. As soon as they get within 3 yards of the end zone, they just give it off to Zeke and take it off Stevenson. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah. He's still a good goal line back, goal to go back kind of guy. People forget that Zeke is known as one of the best pass blockers at the running back position. And
Yeah.
if I had to venture a guess, I think that had a lot to do with it. Especially with, Mac kind of got the crap beat out of him a bit last year. So I think they're trying to shore things up. So if the line can't always do it, I mean, Zeke is still one of the best at picking up blitzes and making sure his guy doesn't get to the quarterback if he's responsible for pass protection.
How many points do I get for a really good block? Do
Yeah,
I get points for that?
that's the problem. But being on the field in those situations is not bad because he could, if the look is right, he might be going out on a route, or he could be a dump off guy, after something like that breaks down. Um, and yeah, so I don't think it hurts Ramondre a lot. Because I think Ramondre can do a lot on fewer touches.
Yeah.
I think it gives Ramondre, but you saw Ramondre broke down at the end of last season. He wasn't good in the playoffs, so as well as he did last year, a lot of people in the playoffs were disappointed in his performance, and so this gives him a chance not to wear down. Because the one thing about Zeke is he's durable. I was looking at there was like a Pollard conversation, and the 4 years that Pollard was there, Zeke only missed 3 games in 4 years. So that's durability, and he's older, and that's I think that was another thing. It's like, this guy, he plays through pain, stays on the field, and good pass protector, good at the goal line. So I mean, yeah, I don't know. He could be pressed into action if he didn't have better options. He might be a flex on some weeks during buys and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
I think if I still had Zeke, I would have felt better with him back with the Cowboys than with the Patriots,
Yeah.
because we know what his role would be there. Even if he had a diminished role to Pollard, we know what he can do, and he'd be
He'd be
involved.
RB2 with a diminished role.
Yeah, he'd be 1B instead of 1A, and everything would be kind of the same.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of it probably would have hurt Pollard a little more. So I know the Pollard owners were like, yes, he went to the Patriots.
I don't know. I don't know if Pollard can carry the whole team. Like,
Yeah,
you
I'm
as a Dallas fan, who else is gonna hold the rock for Dallas?
yeah.
Tony
No,
P can't do it all.
I'm skeptical about it too, only because he's never done it. So
Exactly.
we can't just automatically say he's going to be just fine as a workhorse when he's not done it before.
And he's not
So
built that way.
yeah, yeah. The good thing there too, though, about Zeke, um, they traded Pierre Strong to Cleveland, and
Hmm.
they got rid of everybody else, man. Ty Montgomery, Kevin Harris, J.J. Taylor, all gone. Now they may bring one or two back to the practice squad, but I
Right.
haven't seen those transactions yet. I know a lot happened today, and unfortunately, I haven't been able to catch up. But right now, their depth chart is Ramondre and Zeke, so I'm sure they're going to
They
bring
kind of
somebody
cleaned
in.
house. They had a
Yeah,
plethora
yeah,
of C plus, B minus running backs that couldn't
yeah,
do much behind
yeah.
him.
They'll have somebody in there, but the important thing right now is that they're holding on to other spots, and they only had one quarterback, which that's not going to fly either.
Yeah,
You got
that's
to
not
have
going to
somebody,
happen.
and two running backs. So they're trying to hold on to other spots. It looks like at some point someone will join the mix there, but they may just go with three. And that third guy is just going to be emergency backup kind of guy.
Break
It
glass in
could,
case of emergency.
yeah, it could be a practice squad guy that maybe they don't even activate every week. So yeah, so that bodes well for Zeke right there. But we'll see
Yeah.
what happens between now and the first week here.
Well,
So
as a Zeke owner, it's good that I don't have to depend on him right away.
yeah, yeah. No, it's step. It was a good. It was a good move for you. And look at, I mean, when you traded for Sutton, you still had Judy, and I think even Patrick maybe was still in
Yeah,
there,
both of them were still
right?
there.
And
Yeah, yeah.
now
Well,
both those
Judy's still
guys.
there. Judy is still there.
No,
He
but
will play this year.
they're both out, and it looks like, I mean, Marvin Mims may bump up to the number two. KJ Hamler's gone too. I think he had had a health condition. I think he was like an injury release or something like that, injury settlement kind of thing, So, Dulcich may be freaking slot receiver or something, They put Troutman at tight end and put freaking Dulcich as a slot receiver, and then the rookie Marvin Mims, But hey, all of a sudden, Sutton's the guy that's got more reps with Wilson than anybody else, So Troutman's new to him. Dulcich is not. So really, it could be a 1-2 punch with Dulcich in Sutton.
Well, Sutton's only projected 7.8 points. So
yeah, I think they brought in. I think I saw today they brought in Philip Dorsett, which I mean, whatever.
Sutton's fine with him.
Might have brought him in to play special teams or be a return guy. I don't know, but yeah, Sutton. Now, if he could stay healthy, all of a sudden looking pretty good. So one of those trades that kind of worked out well for you if you're looking at the volume,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You'd be looking at like 9-10 targets a game.
Could be, yeah. I mean, yeah, he could be, easily 7-8, and then the more they had to pass, then it just goes up from there. But yeah, your top guys in the league average somewhere around 7 or 8 targets a game. So, I think that's well within his reach right now. All right, let's talk about a couple trades in our league.
Let's do it.
One that's not too exciting and one that was kind of cool. So we'll start with the one that's not too exciting. We had Silly Dilly trading with the DBs. So Dylan got Isaiah Hodgins in a 25 fourth round pick, which was your pick, Sean.
Okay.
You're trading away 25. I mean, you just can't wait to trade those picks away, man.
Well, Mark, how many points do your picks give you every year?
Burning money. Well, it's all relative, man. So, but yeah, that fourth rounder is not doing much for you, I'm sure. So yeah, if it helps you get a deal over the line, I'm happy for you. And in return, the DB's got a 25 third rounder and a 26 third rounder, both from Dylan himself. So, like I said, this is the one that's not too exciting. Any thoughts on it? What do you think? What do you think about the one player involved, Isaiah Hodgins?
I have no feelings about Isaiah Hodgins.
Yeah,
I couldn't even tell you the last time I watched him play football.
Yeah.
So obviously he is worth a third round pick.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't like the trade, but whatever. It's just another trade from Dilly that I question cold-heartedly. But it is what it is.
Yeah, he's already digging into 26 capital, and if he ever decides to go rebuild someday, he might need some of those picks. But
that's a great question. If he does go into rebuild, does he have the assets to do a FNG rebuild?
Yeah, yeah. He would have to start trading starters pretty much and just putting whoever in there, just trying to get some picks for it. But there's not a lot. Maybe James Conner. He's got Pollard. Of course, that'd be the first guy he should trade is Pollard. He's got a few assets, but it would have to be sort of like, and not only am I going to start the rebuild, but I'm going to be putting like Bailey Zappi in there as my quarterback.
Yeah, exactly.
And Eno Benjamin as a running back, and
it just gives more credit to FNG and what he's done with the team that he took over. Mind you, I think the team was a little bit better than what it was than I'm remembering. But FNG came in and he could write a book on a fucking rebuild. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Well, he had Kelsey to deal, and I don't remember who else. He had here's a blast from the past. He had Skippy's old team, and you remember Skippy did a good redraft team, and then woke up and realized he was in a dynasty league and then got out.
Yeah, I remember Skippy beating me in the Who Cares Ball year one. That's fine.
Yeah. And what he had Henry too. I think he ended up dealing Henry. So at least he had a few assets to start with. Dylan not as much, but Hodgins I think is okay. It's one of those things where he's one of the top three guys. I think they're looking at um it's going to be kind of Waller, Slayton, Hodgins. I think Campbell's mixed in there, and Campbell, if he can stay healthy another season like he did last season, then I think Campbell might have a good role in there. So yeah, it's one of those where I think he's going to be boom or bust a little bit. I think he's good, and he's got the rapport with Daniel Jones, but it's going to be a little boom or bust, I think.
I feel the Giants are taking a bunch of poop, putting it in their right hand, throwing it at the wall, and seeing what freaking sticks.
Well,
That's what
I
I
mean,
think.
but you gotta admit, Slayton has his games. He's got a rapport with DJ,
Yeah.
and Hodgins did that last year. Campbell's a little more of a wild card because he's new there, but Shepard's still around. Yeah, nothing that makes you excited, but all guys that have done things, but none of them consistently. That's the big point. And they brought in Waller, and if Waller stays healthy, then it's probably going to be the consistent one is going to be Waller, and then like you say, throw it up against the wall and see which one sticks this week. So
PSA to the league, I have some players on my bench that are poop thrown to the wall. If you want to give me a third round pick for them, I am all ears. I am
yeah,
all ears.
there you go. There you go. Those could be some high third rounders too. All right, we'll move it on to the next trade. And it's the DBs again. Yeah, they love to trade, man. Traded with yours truly. And we had the DBs getting Terry McLaurin, which I think this is the third year in a row we talked about McLaurin, and we finally made it. We finally made it across the line. In return, I got Tyler Lockett and a 24 second, which is Dylan's pick.
Ooh,
So I'm
that's a
guessing
juicy pick right
that's
there.
going to be pick 14 next year. I'm calling it right now.
You know who I drafted in pick 14 2 years ago? Damian Pierce.
There you go.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah, I remember letting him drop to you in that.
Letting him drop to me. I
I thought
see where that went.
I I thought about him, but I was like, okay, I've got him in a couple of leagues. I got to diversify here. And I was like, I guarantee you Sean will snatch him up if I don't get him. So, here's a little aside before we talk about the trade. Um, Evan loves to talk about Rashad White.
Right.
And
Rightfully
and
so.
and he, and if Rashad White goes off this year, it'll be unbearable in
Oh,
chat,
not for me. I'll be happy.
But he doesn't give us any credit for picking Damian Pierce in the first round of his league last season and how much better he did. Now, and I'll tell you what, I had Rashad White ranked ahead of Damian Pierce. But what did I tell you? I think Pierce is going to be the volume guy. He's going to be relevant right away. And we needed a running back really bad. We didn't need a guy to percolate on the bench. We needed a guy that could freaking play. And
Right
hey,
now.
yeah, I think Pierce helped us win more games last year than we probably should have.
Probably, yeah.
So while he's taking victory laps, I hope he's giving us a thumbs up that, hey, the Pierce pick was pretty good, man. Gotta admit, gotta admit. Anyway.
We got Olave in that draft too.
Right. Yeah. Like one
We're
pick.
totally off subject.
No, I know. I know. But yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about our success in other leagues. I don't have much here this year. So I
Yeah.
don't have much to talk about in NAO. Let me talk about our success in other leagues.
Not
Yeah.
yet.
So going back to the trade. Yeah. I got Tyler Lockett, Dylan's second rounder. They got Terry McLaurin. What do you think about that one, man?
I have good trade. I see it from both sides. DBs are just trying to be the DBs and have everybody so that they can pay people to tell them how great they are. I get it. Tyler Lockett, he's gonna be good, obviously. There was a couple years ago that he was like boom bust, and that was kind of the black cloud around him. But I think he's really gotten over that because he's starting to dodge hits. He's
Yeah.
not taking these giant hits. he's even sliding like a quarterback. You know what I mean? My question to you is, what was the target? Was it Tyler Lockett or that second round pick that you think is going to be 14?
Oh yeah, that second rounder, man. I think they had two of them, and I knew it was asking a lot to get Dylan's, but I was like, if I could get that one, then I feel good about this, you know. McLaurin is dealing with a turf toe right now, unfortunately, but at the time, he was healthy, and I felt like I was a little higher on Howell than some people were, and I was pretty surprised that he fell so far in the draft. And if preseason is any indication, he's going to be just fine. And so I hope McLaurin gets back out there because I feel like it's as crazy as it sounds. Howell might be the best quarterback he's played with,
No, that's probably true.
And I was really happy for McLaurin. For me, it was age for age. I mean, it wasn't like I got any younger in the move, but I got somebody I can still start, and I got a second rounder so it's sort of my, I'm not proclaiming rebuild like FNG was doing, but I'm trying to do moves that are kind of moving towards that where, it's a competitive rebuild of sorts, Let me still have enough guys to play with, but let me stock up some picks so I can start restocking,
Yeah, 1 foot in rebuild and 1 foot I want to
Yeah.
play some.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, dude, I don't know. I'm so competitive that I just don't. I'm like I'll trot out freaking Elijah Moore and Tyler Lockett and you know uh, Brandon Cooks. Yeah, nobody gets excited about those guys, but I'm like I'll come with the guys I got, and hey, there's a lot of luck involved, and all I got to do is hang in to try to make the playoffs, and anything can happen, right? So,
Mark,
but
I'm going to be
but
your family and tell you that you are not making the playoffs.
But oh, okay. You
You're
heard it
not
here.
going to.
You heard it here. I'm glad you're saying that, man. I'm glad you're saying that. I'm just glad you're saying that. Thank
Unless,
you.
like, some of
Thank you.
these other teams, not even mine particularly, which I think is definitely in the conversation. If some of
Yeah.
these teams blow up, maybe,
Yeah.
but I,
Yeah.
I don't see it. I don't see
My
it.
my luck's got to turn at some point. So now, and I know I'm not I wouldn't bet a lot of money on me making it, but I can make it. Um, so I got guys that can like you say, if Elijah Moore, has his breakout
Oh,
and
God,
lives up
hope
to the
so.
potential that everybody they're, not just me, but professionals in the community, they're high on him, Brandon Ayuk, another guy that, not a lot of volume there, but a guy who the numbers are there if it all falls together, so yeah, I mean, it can happen. It can happen. I got enough guys.
I have
I got enough
nothing but
guys.
love for you,
Yeah,
but
I got enough guys.
I'm
But
trying
at
to
the
give
same
you.
time, I'm stockpiling some picks. I got rid of Kittle, and I'm getting some picks stocked up. So and
Okay.
if I start out 0-3, 0-4, then yeah, I'll go full rebuild. But until that happens, I'm playing, man.
All right.
I'm bringing it. I'm bringing it every week. That's
Well,
what
we
it's
can't
all
say that
about,
we don't
man.
respect you.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Yeah, I it's funny. I did listen to the Andy and Derek, but I didn't listen to those latest guys because I was like, man, Andy and Derek, it was brutal, and I just can't.
the
I can't.
the newest podcast was really good. If you can just kind of tone out the freaking stroke fest for the DBs,
Yeah,
which I mean,
yeah,
I guess it's kind of warranted, but like the rest of it was really good. They did a good
yeah.
job.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure they did. I'm like, you know what? I don't need to hear any more noise. I just need to do my thing. And so I just kind of tuning it out and doing what I do, so we'll see. Yeah. Yeah. I could be on. I start off with FNG. So it's not like being in the bottom four is helping me in week one. So
FNG is
yeah,
no slouch.
my guys definitely have to overachieve. So didn't
Okay.
mean to didn't mean to get off on that. Yeah, I think we talked about the trading up. Yeah, I was glad to get Lockett because he's really solid. He's finished high. he's one of those guys nobody wants, but he always just seems to finish pretty high. And
Not true. We'll
not
get
true.
onto that, but it's not true.
What's oh okay. Anyway, no, he's not a sexy name.
Foreshadowing.
He's not a sexy name, but I'm like, you know what? To get him in a second, I'm good. I'm good with that. So I love Terry McLaurin. That was my last share of Terry McLaurin in all my leagues. Hated to see him go because I love that guy, and I just hate that he's gonna finish his career, as a lesser performer than he could have been if he had the right situation.
So 2 points ending up this segment. I think he played with Ryan Fitzpatrick, which would probably be better than him.
Yeah.
And
but
B, I think it's wheels up on Juwan Dotson.
Now, didn't Fitzpatrick get hurt right away? Because I was excited about Fitzpatrick, but in that
no, I thought he came in after.
I thought Fitzpatrick
brutal injury to.
I thought he
Alex
broke his
Smith, Aaron Smith, or whatever his name is.
No, Alex Smith. Alex Smith's right.
Yeah.
No, I think he broke his hip like game 1, and I was just like, hey, I can't have nice things, man. I was excited I was excited about him too, but I think that's the case is that Fitz got hurt, and then that was it for Fitz, man. He was done, because it was a pretty serious hip injury he got, and he's, up there in age a little bit. So, yeah, you're right. No, that would have been the best. I whatever I said, I'm sorry.
I just got a bunch of crap on my desk that I just grab every once in a while.
Yeah, that's a visual right there. We won't say anything. We'll make them go watch it on YouTube. So yeah, let's keep talking about trades a little bit. We were talking about
I got my soapbox ready.
Yeah, we were talking about it a little bit in pre-chat, and it was a pretty interesting conversation. Yeah, you said you did mention we talk about that thing we're not supposed to talk about, which is trade calculators.
And this is where everybody's like, "Oh."
Yeah, turning it off. So that's fine with me. I tell you what, I used to use Dynasty 101, and I've had a few guys send me trades with screenshots of Dynasty 101, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not using that anymore. I'm all in on keep trade cut, which I wasn't for a while.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, I was just going to say
that to our league.
I got to give credit to Tank Top because that was his thing, and I looked at it like, man, anybody can say anything on that. But the more I thought about it, the more I was like, most people that are responding to the keep trade cut stuff are people like us that take it serious, and they know that the better I do on this, the better these values are going to be. And I've gotten to where I like keep trade cut because it's market value, and it's not like Dynasty 101 was 2 or 3 guys that were good at what they do and doing their best to assign values to guys. But keep trade cut is tens of thousands of people that are giving their opinion, and so you're
the number on it right now is 10.7 million.
Wow. Okay. So
I think I saw that right.
Tens of millions. Yeah. How many digits?
I'm waiting for my computer to come back up. I'll give you the right number. Keep going.
Yeah. So yeah, no, that's I trust that more because it doesn't matter what the experts say about a guy's value. It matters what the fantasy community think about the guy. And I've kind of come around on that now. And I feel like it's a good, and they even do the value adjustment thing, which it pisses me off sometimes when I'm trying to construct a trade. And I'm like, man, quit giving them the value adjustment because now I got to put something more in. But it kind of goes to show some of these trades where here's 7 guys, 2 you can start and 5 are bullshit, and give me your 1 guy. And it's a good trade. Well, that value adjustment thing kind of cancels that out after a certain point where it's like, no, you're getting one of the top assets in the league. I don't care if you give them 12 guys, if you're not giving them 2 or 3 that are other top assets, then it's going to be one-sided thing, So
there's somebody in the league that should take keep trade cut into consideration. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. You put the dots together while I'm talking. But
Yeah.
keep trade cut trade calculator uses crowdsourcing values for players and picks from 10,710,846 data points and counting provided by users like you. So when you go into keep trade cut, if you haven't been, it asks you like, which one you keep, trade, and cut, and gives you 3 players. This time of year, I don't do it because it's so freaking close to the people. Like, there's no way I would drop Stephon Diggs so I can keep Cup to trade AJ Brown. You know what I mean? Like, there's like, it doesn't take into consideration other sources, but like in a tunnel, in a vacuum, yeah, I think it's okay.
Yeah.
So my point of view on keep trade cut is that it is a good baseline, and I think there's a few people in our league that would agree with me that trade calculator is a good baseline to see where you should start if you are in the realm.
Yeah.
My gripe right now is that the leagues in the realm is okay. You want a player from my team? All right, so first round pick, and then we can start getting in the realm. Oh my word. I have been trying to add depth to my wide receiver core.
Okay.
And I'm going after 27-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 31-year-olds, and every single person I've gone to, even the other person on this podcast today, laughed at me and or wanted a first round pick.
Okay, wait a minute. So I'm the other person on this podcast today. I didn't
you not laugh at me?
I might have laughed at you, but I didn't ask for I didn't ask for a first round pick.
No, and or ask for a first round pick.
All right, in context, what was the one? It was Cooks. When you asked for Cooks. Yeah. And I had to remind you that in recent history, you said Cook sucks, man. He's washed. What do you want with Cooks? So I had to throw your words back at you and laugh about it. It's like, yeah, come crawling back for Cooks. But I haven't asked you for a first round pick for anybody you've come after. So.
But I think this is only my point of view. Obviously, silly, you can skip forward about 25 seconds. My point of view is
he ain't listening. He ain't listening to this old fuck.
What am I kidding?
Old fuck.
Ain't listening.
Old fucking Sean. I'm not listening to those CSers, sons of bitches. Before you go on, what a little aside. He blocks me today, right? He blocks me today.
Get out of here.
This dude comes at you and he's like, oh yeah, it's legit blocked me because I can't see his. I guess he's not seeing mine, but he comes at you and he's like, F you, F your mama, you freaking CSer, you know, go crawl in a hole and die. And then he's like, haha, just kidding, you know. and then you say, you know, Dylan, I disagree with you. I think that's kind of a dumb take. Oh, I'm blocking you, man. You can't talk to me like that, you know. So I don't know, man. I hope he's all right. It sounds like he's having a hard time right now. So he's not. Our
thoughts and prayers are with you, Dylan.
Yeah, guarantee you he's not hearing this. Guarantee you, man. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
So my opinion on why trades have been very sparse this offseason is because I think you're either in or you're out. You know what I mean? And if you're out, you want high value, which is totally understandable. You're trying to get the most value for your players and try to turn them around, get the people that you want, and or get the picks that you want, right?
Yeah.
If you're in, you're like, all right, I'm like me. I feel like I'm right there, and all I'm wanting to do is add depth, you know, like without moving my top guys, right?
Yeah.
And if you are a guy on the out, you are looking at my lineup going, hey, I want one of those top guys. And when I say no, I'm not moving my top guy, it kind of like puts this whole black cloud over the trade conversation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless you are the DBs, I will give credit where credit is due. DBs are very deep. They can move guys from their bench that could be starters in most of the lineups. You know what I mean?
At least someone a guy can flex and
at least. And then, but
sure.
I personally do not have that ability. I do not have the depth to be able to
Right.
move
Right.
a guy from my bench for a second round pick and a couple guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that is the value system in the league as a general overcompassing umbrella. I think it's very high.
Yeah.
And I take full responsibility on why that is, going after Devontae Smith when I did for 2 first-round picks and a second, you know what I mean, or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
And I was going out and getting these guys with all my picks. So I think I was a factor in that.
Yeah.
But it's getting crazy.
I can give a good example of that too. I was talking with FNG, and I was pretty I was pretty convinced that Javonte was going to start on PUP. I'm still waiting for the other shoe to drop on that, but and I'll tell you what, just a quick aside on that, watching his replays, I don't think he's at 100%. I wouldn't have been surprised if they started him on the pup, but yeah, it looks like they're going to roll with him, but he's not 100%.
Sean Payton says he's good to go and ready to go, and that some of those matchups are.
What I saw was a little bit tentative, and I understand that. I've hyperextended both my knees and had those injuries. I don't know if I tore my ACL. We didn't look into that back in the day. We just let the let the swelling go down and go on with life. But I remember not having confidence in it after that. So I get it, but yeah, he looked a little tentative to me. And anyway, so I was trying to get another running back because I'm thinking, man, Javonte's not going to be ready to go. I got to put somebody in there. And so I talked with FNG about Ramondre, and that didn't go too far. He definitely wanted high price for him, and that one I'm like, okay, I kind of get that. So then I go to Sanders, and I'm like, I offered that dude 2 second rounders for Sanders. And he's like, no, I got to have a first rounder. And I'm like, dude, it's Miles freaking Sanders,
Yeah. Where does he have?
He's got
he's
got Bijan.
Play.
He's got Bijan. He's got who else did he get? Yeah, he's got Ramondre. Yeah, he's got Sanders. He's got the other guy I was thinking about but didn't make him offer because I was pissed about the Sanders, first for Sanders. He got Penny, and I was like, well, he could be the consolation prize, maybe somebody I can press in action. But yeah, he wanted a first rounder for Sanders, and that's crazy, man. I don't care. I mean, he got a good contract. He went to the Panthers where he can maybe be the lead back, but he's not worth a first rounder anywhere ever. Unless this time next year we're like, holy crap, man, Sanders really smashed, and he's signed for another couple of years and he's going to be really good. Right now he's not worth the first rounder though. But yeah, same thing. I'm like, I thought I think I offered a second and a guy, and he's like, no, that's no good. And I'm like, all right, bite the bullet, man. I'll offer him 2 seconds. So I was offering my 24-25 second, and he's like, no. I'm like, dude, what do you want? And he's like, I want a first rounder. And I was just like, okay, man. So yeah, go ahead.
The little backstory for this, FNG bought Sanders, Mariota, a third and a fifth with Daniel Jones in 2 seconds. So if he got 2 seconds back, he would have gotten Marcus Mariota a third and a fifth for Daniel Jones.
Yeah. I thought it was a fair offer. I really did. I mean, I thought second and a guy was okay, but I'm like, okay, I get it. Running back,
yeah,
it's the value's up because they get hurt, and you want to try to keep your depth, But I thought 2 seconds was good, and I'm like, no way, am I giving you a first rounder for because he'll end up using it against me in the bottom four and get somebody like Bijan again. Oh
All
man.
right, I am checking the value of Miles Sanders on Keep Trade Cut as we speak.
Yeah.
And what year was the first that he wanted?
It was a oh no, he didn't say a year, but he just wanted a first. I'm
All
saying
right.
and I don't even know if that was like the end
If
all
it was
be
a
all.
first in 2024, a mid-round, first-round pick, mind you, Keep Trade Cut does 12 teams,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
that'll probably be
Right.
like an 8 to 7 pick.
No,
The difference
6, 7,
is
5, 6, 7.
the difference is a late 23 second.
Right.
So
Right.
he would have had to add a second to get the first round pick.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now put in Sanders and let's just say I suck this year and I'm in the bottom four, so he gets an early second, and then maybe I'm a little better in 25 and he gets a mid second.
Okay.
I think that's how I put it in.
Early second, boom, and
24
then in
early,
25,
yeah, mid.
a late second, right?
No, mid. Put in mid.
Oh,
Because
mid
that's
second.
always, I mean, to me, that's the fairest way to do it is when you're going that far out, who knows what's going to happen, right? So I always put in a mid to be fair.
The difference is Jehovian Knight.
Oh, Zonovan. Zonovan. But you know what
Is
I
that his
love?
name, Zonovan?
You know what I love? This is like this is like a recall. You said the same thing sometime last year and the guys had fun with it. So here you go, buddy. You just I'm sorry, but
I needed to give Ian something to
so
fucking complain
but
about, so
that's basically even because Zonovan Knight doesn't have
he's
value
nothing.
now because he's well he did I did
Taysom
see
Hill.
he signed with Detroit for the practice squad, but so Zonovan Knight's his um his value is probably a little more now than it will be. It'll need to adjust, you know. Another good point about keep trade cut, you have to know the situation of the guy. It could adjust, like in the case of Zonovan Knight. But
Yeah.
basically, you're saying that's an even trade, right? I mean,
Yeah, basically even trade.
yeah. So it was a
If you
fair. I
take
thought it was
away the trade adjustment, I'm sure that's uh even.
yeah. So it's a fair trade, but I wouldn't take it away because I understand more what they're doing there. They're like, dude, you're getting a guy you can put in your lineup right now. This
Yeah.
guy doesn't get he's losing a spot in his lineup. He's got to wait till next year to try to replace it. So I'm understanding that value adjustment more, even though it does piss me off when I'm trying to construct a trade sometimes. I'm like, fuck you with the value adjustment, man. Come on. So yeah, but you're right, man. It's like I think our league, just like many leagues, you got a couple of good, you know, a couple of real deep rosters at the top
Mm-hmm.
and a couple of crap rosters at the bottom, you know. And there's a bunch of us in the middle trying to gain some advantage, you know. And what
Yeah.
do? You go to the bottom roster, they're like, dude, if I give you this guy, I got nobody, you know. You go to the
Yeah.
top roster and like, why would I give up my depth when I'm trying to get a championship, you know? So I think we're kind of in that holding pattern right now.
I think it's just the byproduct of having a dynasty for so long, you know?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, what year are we going into? Year four? Year five?
yeah, yeah.
So
Um,
we started in 2000?
four, isn't it? Going into year four
2020?
here.
Four.
Going in,
Yeah, I think we're in four.
yeah,
This is why we need Tank Out Mike. He always knows these things.
yeah. I think it's the fourth. We're going into our fourth year here, so.
So is there anything else you'd want to talk about there, Primo?
I think we covered it pretty well. I hope Silly Dilly will forgive me at some point. I kind of don't know I'm trying to figure out what it was that set him off so bad, you know. Um, I got I got irritated with him because I get irritated with anybody that starts talking about these guys like they're objects, you know. And that could just be the older guy in me, the, you know, I don't know, just come on, man, it's a person. And I look at him like kids. I mean, Jonathan Taylor's 24 years old. He's younger than my daughters, And I'm like, come on, man, give the kid a break, and he's a human being, and you're talking like he's garbage, like he's some object. So
He is an object. He's an object in a game. We play a game, and
yeah,
he is a pawn
that
in said game.
well, and that's what I have a hard time with, because he's a human
Yeah.
being, and he's just trying to do the best for himself, and he goes out there and busts his ass, and I feel like we need a reset at running back in the NFL, because it's not that they
That's
don't
coming.
work. They work their ass off just as much as these other guys. They're putting their body on the line more than some of these guys, because they're getting hit all the time.
Mhm.
And they're just like they've made them a disposable product. So yeah, I
There's
just hope.
kickers making more money than running backs, my man.
There you go. I mean, and what's that kicker do?
Kicks 5 times a day.
You go over to that field and just
Kick your
kick
fucking
the ball,
ball.
and make sure it goes through those two yellow things,
Make sure the
and
ball
then
doesn't hurt you.
yeah, and then we're good. Meanwhile, that freaking running back is dying out there, and he's out there getting hit, and yeah. So yeah, there needs
Arguably
to be.
one of the most athletic people on the field.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know what it was that set him off. I know I probably got a little salty, but I hope, hopefully he'll unblock me, and peace will return to the league. I don't know. I shouldn't say that. Have we ever had peace in the league? I don't think we had
I don't
peace.
know. I don't
I
know what this thing is, what you speak of.
I don't think we had peace since the first interaction between you and Ian, man. I think I think we went about, maybe dozen or so little posts, and then you and Ian were fighting, and that set the tone for the league.
You're welcome. The
Thank you.
whole league
Thank
is
you.
welcome.
So go
Ian and
ahead.
I, Poo Crew and I freaking started the animosity train and everybody just jumped
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
welcome.
yeah. Well, speaking of Poo Crew, why don't you take us out of here, man?
All right, speaking of that Poo Crew, this is the NAO show and it's been fun. But Ian, you suck.
You should be good.